Welcome to C.A.R.E. Current Affairs Reverse Engineering. This is launched by KPIS Delhi and also available at our regional centers, Shamshabad and also Hyderabad campus. And coming to our program, we have launched UPSCale, which is also incorporating this C.A.R.E. as part of your daily routine. So it can save your time and energy in the form of selection of articles and also inferring right content, which is relevant content for UPSC from the given articles. Okay, and in the form of MCQs and associated PYQs, definitely it can align your mind on the lines of UPSC. And coming to our first article, the first article is about Nobel Prize in Physics for finding a way to see electrons. What is this article talking about? Let's come to the MCQ. It can save your time and energy. Next, consider the following statements. Laser pulses are generated by the spontaneous emission of photons. Actually, please remember one thing, in your childhood you might have studied that laser is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation, right? So it is not a spontaneous emission of photons, it is stimulated emission of photons, right? And laser is very sharp, coherent and produce a monochromatic beam of light, and it can pass through any kind of substance in electromagnetic through any not only visible rays but also other rays in the electromagnetic spectrum. So laser is very sharp, coherent and focused, therefore you can witness any object in the shape of the object by reflecting the light by penetrating such kind of laser light. So such reflection of light can give you a shape of an object. Usually it looks very funny in nature, but it is the core fundamental nature of the physics, basic physics, that you have to understand, that whatever you see, that is seen by the reflection of the light in front of your eyes. Okay. Coming to actual findings of these Nobel Prize winners is, how will you assess the speed of the electron and its process and functioning when it has immense fast orbiting, the fastest orbiting around the nucleus of an atom, right? Nucleus, that is that contains protons and neutrons, you might have studied in your childhood. Okay, the speed of electrons is around 2200 kilometers per second, and it is fast enough to get around Earth. It can orbit around Earth within 18 seconds. So how can you measure it in the form of, see, the third statement is talking about, see, how can you assess the shape of this electron? How can you understand the function of this electron, that is subatomic particles? See, in conventional or classical physics, it is quite difficult and it was actually neglected that they haven't found any shape of the subatomic particles. However, in the modern physics, particle physics, which is incorporating such quantum physics, and they are understanding the shape of the micro particles which are causing to the formation of the atom and the other molecules. Next, an attosecond, that is the third statement, an attosecond is an extremely short unit of time equal to 1/20th of a second. 1/20th means 1 by 10 to the power of 18th part of the time. This is a time interval which can understand even fractions of a substance which is revolving at a faster pace, like electron, which is moving around any object, which is moving around any object. Electron, which is any object, means the nucleus which is having the proton and neutron. Okay, any object that may contain the atoms, right? So in this atom you will be having electrons which are revolving around or orbiting around this nucleus part. So while revolving, it is having the immense speed and the fastest orbiting speed. That velocity and the velocity may prevent scientists to understand its shape and its orientation and its structural or functional elements, right? Therefore, these scientists have understood at which time interval we can penetrate our laser beam of light to understand actual orientation, shape and structure of this electron. This laser beam of light can help you to understand the electron at which time interval it is possible. That is the findings that you can witness in this article, right? The scientists have found at which time interval we can pass or penetrate such a laser beam of light. The time interval can be measured in 1/20th part. 1/20th part. That means 1 by 10 to the power of 18, 10 power of minus 18 of a second. Okay, this is what the third statement is talking about. Okay, an attosecond is an extremely short unit of time equal to 1/20th of a second. It is used It is used in the field of ultra fast optics, laser physics to measure incredibly brief time intervals such as the time scale associated. So, incredibly brief time intervals can also be measured by this 1 quint attosecond. This attosecond is equivalent to 1 quintillionth. Okay, usually billion part, trillion part, likewise you will see. But here 1 quintillionth, 10 to the power of 18th part. Okay, so of a second. However, it is in the stage of development. This time interval can help the physics experts, the main scientists, to understand the actual orientation only, but it is quite difficult to understand the entire particle physics at the present situation, and this kind of research has been going on. Okay, this particle physics in the modern physics as part of this Higgs boson particle, which is also discussed in the UPSC in 2018, they have given as a mains question, right? You please go through that mains question too. And what is meant by this laser? Laser pulse can emit a beam of light which is monochromatic, extremely focused and coherent and intense in nature, and it has only brief duration. It is talking a brief duration, making them valuable tools in various applications, and here also it can be applied. Okay. And coming to, as far as physicists currently know, electrons have no internal structure and thus no shape in the classical meaning of this word. In the classical physics, they feel that there may be no structure for this kind of fast moving orbiting electrons. However, in the modern language of physics, which tackles the behavior of objects smaller than an atomic nucleus in this model, and they are foundational blocks of matter that are continuously fluid in nature. Okay, and which are in continuously fluid in nature are called quantum fields. Therefore, this electron, which is fast moving object around the orbit, can also be coming under this quantum physics umbrella, right? So, quantum physics is nothing but which can permeate whole space around us. See, okay, so it can also help you to study fast moving orbiting objects. So, this time interval can help you at which time you can focus a beam of light. This time interval. This is what the scientists have found. I think I might have conveyed the basic foundational observation of the findings that was actually written in this article, and this basic understanding will help you to answer these kind of questions, because previously they have asked about laser assisted in situ keratomelia. This kind of a technical question was also asked by UPSC, but it is fundamental in nature. Your fundamental understanding of basic science is also important to understand the current happenings, which is asked by UPSC, like Higgs boson particle in 2018 mains, and also in preliminary examination UPSC 2010 has asked this kind of fundamental questions, right? Laser pulses are coherent, emit intense focus light. The second statement is correct, but I have explained the third statement, which is actually an element of this kind of article, which is actually the core part of this article, that is so the recent Nobel Prize winners found out, right? And next, coming to our next article, and this article is talking about suspension of members of parliament. This article is little political in nature. However, we need to understand the functionality of our legislative system in this parliamentary form of government. Therefore, various questions were asked previously in the UPSC on these lines. Coming to suspension of members of parliament, the statement 1 is talking about Speaker of Lok Sabha and Chairman of Rajya Sabha can suspend a member of parliament. No, the Chairman of Rajya Sabha cannot suspend a member of parliament. And second statement, the maximum period of suspension is 5 consecutive sittings of the House. No, the remaining period of the House are 5 consecutive sittings of the House. Whichever is earlier or whichever is lesser, that should be the actual suspension time period that may be authority given to the Speaker. And next, unlike the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, Chairman of the Rajya Sabha doesn't have power to revoke the suspension of an MP. No. Actually, even Speaker of the Lok Sabha may be having such an authority to suspend a member of the House because of the gross violation of the code of conduct of the House. However, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha cannot revoke the suspension of such member of parliament, the entire house has to go under the, go for the, revoking of such suspension of member of parliament. Next, a suspended MP will be eligible to give notice for discussion, but loses the right to get a reply to his questions. Actually, a suspended MP will not be eligible to give notice for discussion, and at the same time, he will not be having any kind of right to get a reply. So, for all four statements are incorrect, and previously they have asked a question regarding closure refers to. This is a closure refers to a rule in the legislative procedure under which further debate of a motion can be halted. This is what the question was asked. Therefore, we have given that question, and coming to the next question. And this article was discussed several times in our C.A.R.E initiative. The article is talking about the conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia with respect to the ethnic and also border dispute. And Nagorno-Karabakh is also a region which is internationally declared as part of the Azerbaijan's territory. However, Nagorno-Karabakh is little bit apart from the mainstream land of this Azerbaijan. What are the other locations that were discussed in the news? Because UPSC has asked such kind of question this year also. What were the places? North Kivu, Ituri, and Nagorno-Karabakh and Kherson. These were the disputed territories and which were in conflict zones. And UPSC this year has asked. Therefore, we have taken those areas Lachin and Stepanakert, which are places often seen in the news. Let us see, it is part of our actual map. And you please remember the places in their geographical locations and the ethnic tribes also. Here the Stepanakert and Lachin are located, which is actually a little bit apart from this Azerbaijan region, and the mainstream land of this Azerbaijan region is little bit disoriented from this Nagorno-Karabakh region, and also in this Nagorno-Karabakh region most of the ethnic Armenians live, and who are evicted by this Azerbaijan out of this conflict. And the next article is about and this article was discussed several times in our C.A.R.E initiative. The article is talking about the conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia with respect to the ethnic and also border dispute. And Nagorno-Karabakh is also a region which is internationally declared as part of the Azerbaijan's territory. However, Nagorno-Karabakh is little bit apart from the mainstream land of this Azerbaijan. What are the other locations that were discussed in the news? Because UPSC has asked such kind of question this year also. What were the places? North Kivu, Ituri, and Nagorno-Karabakh and Kherson. These were the disputed territories and which were in conflict zones. And UPSC this year has asked. Therefore, we have taken those areas Lachin and Stepanakert, which are places often seen in the news. Let us see, it is part of our actual map. And you please remember the places in their geographical locations and the ethnic tribes also. Here the Stepanakert and Lachin are located, which is actually a little bit apart from this Azerbaijan region, and the mainstream land of this Azerbaijan region is little bit disoriented from this Nagorno-Karabakh region, and also in this Nagorno-Karabakh region most of the ethnic Armenians live, and who are evicted by this Azerbaijan out of this conflict. And the next article is about, and this article is about PM SVANidhi, Prime Minister Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi. Here coming to the question, PM SVANidhi, it is an initiative under the aegis of Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. No, it is under the aegis of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Therefore, first statement is incorrect. It is aimed at integrating street vendors into formal economic system and facilitating access to formal channels of credit. Yes, that is true. They have to facilitate them to access to this formal channel of credit rather than going for money lenders. Next, it provides collateral free working capital loans up to 50,000 rupees. Yes, and also it is providing incentivization for those people who have paid, with the interest on time, they will get incentivization of 7% interest subsidy, and if they are doing digital transactions, they will be rewarded with cashback up to 1200 rupees per year. This is about PM SVANidhi scheme. And next, coming to this Petroleum Minister Hardeep S. Puri urges OPEC to one more thing, and you need to understand OPEC Plus and other multilateral organizations which are coming several times in the press information. Especially there were various questions on multilateral global platforms. As an example, here UPSC in 2009 they have asked about this OPEC country, which was which of the following countries, actually which among the following from South America is member of OPEC. This is at that time Ecuador was the member of this OPEC. Now Ecuador withdrew its membership in 2020. However, various countries joined and later they have withdrew this kind of membership. And you please find out the members of this OPEC list. How many of the countries listed above are members of the OPEC list? This is your, please mention it in the comment section actually. And this is about PM SVANidhi scheme that we have already discussed. These are the flowcharts that are given in our PDF format, and please go through them. And next, coming to green economy is going to be the new addition to India's future. This is also an article which is very important and given in the Press Information Bureau. Few schemes and which are highly prioritized by the Government of India must be read several times. And these articles also very prominent in understanding various organizations that are announced by the government and changing functionality. And coming to this article, it is also talking about green economy. There may be possibility of question that which of the following statements can define best about the green economy. Such kind of questions may be possible. And second, coming to organizations, National Research Foundation, which is announced by Prime Minister, will have non-government resources. What is this National Research Foundation? We will learn in the form of MCQ here. Here, National Research Foundation, it replaces the Science and Engineering Research Board. That is true. First statement is correct. Next, it will be presided over by the Prime Minister of India. Is it true? Yes. Prime Minister of India is presiding such National Research Foundation, and the Minister of Science and Education will be the Vice President. Next, 5 members from the business and industry are to be nominated to the board by the Prime Minister. That is the heading of this article. Will have huge non-government resources. Who are part of the government here? President, the President is Prime Minister. And next one, who is Vice President? That is Minister of Science and Technology. But coming to 5 members who are business and industry are part of the non-government, who are nominated to the board by the Prime Minister of India. Those 3 statements are correct. Why have you asked this question? Because of the previous year question regarding such kind of innovation in science pursuit for inspired research, INSPIRE, which was asked in UPSC NDA in 2009. This article is quite interesting. Always academic concepts and science and technology related ones are little interesting in nature. The interesting concept is because applicable and mutually interlinked areas are there here, and unabated FPA selling pulls indices to 1 month low. What does it mean? What is actually the implication of such withdrawal of FPA, foreign portfolio investment? Foreign portfolio investment is part of our capital accounts, which was asked in UPSC CSE in 2013. Capital account is nothing but the long lasting investment options which can yield returns and non-recurring in nature. It is not continuous expenditure as part of our balance sheet of economy. Okay. So, such portfolio investment and FDIs also and other foreign loans which can be considered as part of this capital account. And if you withdraw this capital account from the market, each of these accounts, that is FDI withdrawal or portfolio investment, will have a negative cascading effect on any economy. So, if there are more withdrawals of this FPA, what will be the potential effect that you witness? Here, depreciation of local currency. Yes, depreciation of local currency and higher inflation will also be a consequence of such depreciation of local currency, and decline of stock indices because of disinterest and less trust due to this continuous withdrawal of the FPAs in the market. So, coming to this kind of a little bit explanation more, that depreciation of local currency, when FPI is withdrawn, therefore increased demand for foreign currency. This will lead to increased demand for foreign currency when FPI is withdrawn because of reappropriation of such funds to their homeland. Okay. Therefore, they need more dollars rather than rupees. So, they will withdraw their funds. Therefore, the currency which is in the form of dollar will get huge demand in this market. And when this currency, that is the dollar, is getting huge demand, then our currency value will be depreciated. Okay, and dollar rate will be increased. Such increase in the dollar rate will also create higher inflation, that means inflationary pressure while importing goods. So, the goods import will also be increased, the price of import of goods will also be increased, that is called as higher inflationary pressure with respect to which is a consequence and outcome of such currency depreciation. Okay. Next, decline of stock indices. However, it is quite normal that when there is huge withdrawal is happening, and other market players will also come to know that there will be less returns that we can witness in the future market. They are in a rush to withdraw their entire investment process. So, decline of stock indices. However, increase in government revenue is not possible, rather than decrease in the revenues is a actual negative effect out of this withdrawal of these FPIs. Okay, this is the concept. Next, coming to this article is talking about EU ready to talk food stock policy at WTO, and this article is also quite interesting one because of the monetary policy of the RBI, which is having some kind of interlinking aspects, inflation and market economy and fiscal policy, which is influenced by such kind of monetary policy by the RBI. Okay, these are interlinking concepts. Please understand this article. RBI may take open market operations route for government securities sales. Okay, what is this open market operation route? Suppose if people not having so much of money and deflation condition is happening, that means the fall of prices of the goods. Therefore, RBI will release some money. And if there is huge demand in the market and money is in the hands of the public and inflationary pressure is occurring, therefore, RBI sucks some money from the public, right, in the form of securities, that is government securities at debt market, at the bond market, right. So, if there is no money, RBI will purchase and will release the money. If there is so much of money, RBI will sell and definitely suck the money from the market. This is what the RBI monetary policy goes. Rather than increasing rate of interest for the loans or decreasing rate of interest loans, RBI may opt this open market operation, okay, to take or to dump some kind of money in the market, right, to pump or to suck money in the market. The RBI may opt such kind of open market operation system. It is quite easy to understand these interlinking concepts, this economic concepts. Here, why such action is taken by the RBI in this article? Because India's inclusion in the JP Morgan Global Bond Index is promising that India's sovereign debt market is going to witness such kind of demand, which is exceeding its supply rate. Okay. So, when India's sovereign debt market demand is increasing more than the supply, there will be huge pumping of money from the outside world also. Such huge pumping of money will create huge money in the hands of the public. It's very simple. If the bond market is really happening and yielding so much, therefore, people will come and purchase many bonds. Simple. If they purchase so much of bond here, therefore, there is so much of money pumped in this market in the form of loans only. The bond issued to them, the debt instrument which is issued to those private players who are purchasing these debt instruments, the money will be pumped into the market and so much of money will be in the hands of the public. Therefore, it will inflate the prices, right. So, to curtail such kind of situation, RBI will definitely suck some money in the form of government securities. Therefore, RBI will definitely sell its own bonds to the market and it will suck money into its pocket, right. This is a kind of open market operation system. It is quite interesting to analyze and apply it in layman terms also, and regarding these concepts, because there were previous year questions related to this monetary policy. In 2015, UPSC has asked about bank rates and open market operations, which were part of this monetary policy. India's economy, consider the following statement. It has asked which of the above are part of this monetary policy. The first two are part of the monetary policy, because the public debt and public revenue are not part of the monetary policy. It is part of the fiscal policy of the government of India. Next, coming to this question, in the form of question, we will be understanding this concept. Already I have explained it. You can answer this question. They are the open market operations. Regarding open market operation, they are the purchase and sales of government securities by Reserve Bank of India on the center's behalf, on the behalf of center, to streamline money supply and interest rate. To streamline money supply and interest rate, because the money is supplied so much, and to cut the supply of the money, the RBI utilizes this instrument called open market operation. Next, purchase of bonds via an OMO, that is open market operation, raises the price of bonds and reduce the rates. Actually, yes, definitely purchase of bonds via OMO, open market, raises sometimes and also reduces the price of the bond market. This is a kind of deflation to address the situation of deflation or inflation according to the time and need. Already we have discussed that entire concept. Next, coming to this next article, shot in the arm. Article presented different types of vaccines actually, and the entire article is not important, only you need to learn different types of vaccines which is related to a little bit of core sciences, and this was also asked several times in UPSC. Coming to that question, actually question and answer. Here the toxoid vaccine is one of those types, 5 types of vaccinations actually given here, given in our explanation. Out of them 3 mentioned, which of them can be correct here. Toxoid vaccine, conjugate vaccine, recombinant vector vaccines. Okay, 3 types. Toxoid vaccines are secreted, these are the toxins secreted by bacteria which are inactivated to make toxoid vaccine. This first statement is correct. And second one, conjugate vaccine, the whole gem is killed using, no, whole gem is not killed in this conjugate vaccine, only the portion of the gem is killed and introduced in the body in the form of vaccine. Next, recombinant vector vaccine, it is a weakened attenuated gem but is used to carry a DNA which is altered, modified, recombinated. Okay, its nucleotides are removed and other nucleotides are inserted in this DNA part and to enter the cells to stimulate the immunity. This is recombinant vector vaccine. And there were previously questions in the UPSC C.A.R.E examination, that is different types of categorical vaccinations, Sputnik 5, Covishield, Covaxin, which is asked recently in 2022 after COVID-19 pandemic. And coming to different types of vaccinations, this is based on the strength and cause of the agent and the curing mechanism. Scientists have derived different types of vaccinations here. Live attenuated vaccine is usually most conventional in nature but very effective in nature. The whole gem is attenuated, that is weakened, but gem is not totally killed. The whole gem is attenuated, that is weakened, and it cannot be in a stage of causing any disease actually. So such kind of attenuated, that means weakened foreign body which can enter into our body can produce antibodies, and they can act as these disease causing agents. Okay. However, the immune system can respond very effectively. Only 1 or 2 doses are required to this kind of vaccination. And next, coming to inactivated. Inactivated is completely kill gem is introduced into our body as a foreign agent which can act as an antigen, and it can definitely create a kind of response to our immune system. That immune system will respond against those foreign bodies in this inactivated model. So already we have discussed about toxoid vaccination. The toxin produced by bacteria is weakened and it can be injected into our body in the form of vaccine. And recombinant vaccine and conjugate vaccines are also given to you in this question, right? So these are the questions from our C.A.R.E initiative today, and I think this session would have helped you. All the very best and thank you.